Hey, welcome to Strategic Healthcare with Dawn and Matt. I want to thank you guys all for coming and joining us today. We've got a really great lineup. We're really looking forward. But first, how are you doing today, Matt?
Dawn, I'm freezing today. I don't want to stay in the Northeast anymore. If I was a nurse, can you show me how I could maybe travel the United States and get to some warmer weather? Can you teach me how to do that?
I could, Matt. And as a matter of fact, for all you folks out there, here's Matt. This is how bad he wants to get away from upstate New York. He's parachuting into Florida somewhere. He'll tell us a little bit later what it's all about. But right now, we want to talk a little bit about traveling nurses.
How do I do that?
How do you do it?
Yes.
First, you have to be a nurse, Matt.
Oh, I'm not a nurse yet.
I know you like to play doctor, but you're not a nurse yet.
Okay.
So, you know, pretty soon we'll get you there. But kind of some of the things we're going to talk about today and over the next few weeks with Matt's help is we are going to go through how you become a traveling nurse, what it takes to be a traveling nurse, and how you can get to various locations and jobs that we have. First of all, I just want to take this few minutes to tell you Strategic Healthcare, as you know, we're a healthcare facility that services staffing nurses, traveling nurses, per diem nurses, and full-time nurses across the country. But our key jobs that we look for are really traveling nurses. So behind me, as Matt's parachuting into the world today, into a nice warmer climate, because last week, anybody that didn't see the bathing suit episode, Matt was behind the camera in his Speedo making me laugh, but he wouldn't come out front, but you know how that is.
It's not going to happen.
All right, so why do healthcare professionals travel first? Before we even get into traveling nurses, we want to talk a little bit, Matt, about some of the things that traveling nurses, why they become traveling nurses. What would you think some of them would be?
Well, I would think that they want to see the country, maybe see a little bit more of what they've grown up in, or whether they just got out of college. Maybe they have friends that they want to go visit for a little bit of time.
Maybe they have a crazy stalker they want to get away from.
Well, that's probably the case too, but let's not get into that.
Yeah. Well, it's for the adventure. Just like Matt parachuting out of that helicopter today, or whatever it was. And they like the professional challenge. They like to get out there and show their skills and really, you know, get into an environment that they're not used to, kind of out of their comfort zone. A little bit like us today. Explore new destinations. Like Matt said, you know, we can go to Hawaii, you can go to California, you can go to Florida. These jobs are temporary, so they're 13 weeks. Gives you the opportunity to make more money, because we're going to pay you a lot better. It's going to be tax-free money.
I can make money doing this, and I can travel too?
Yeah, it's really great, huh?
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, and not only that, it's tax-free money. We're going to tell you how to do tax-free money. Also, buy it before you try it. Sort of like the 70s when you moved in with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever the case may be. You can buy it or try it before you buy it. Kind of the same idea. As a traveler, you can really go to any hospital of your choice, try out the facility and make sure it's a good fit. Because how many of us have really gotten jobs before that when we get there, we just hate them? Right?
I've done that.
Me neither. I loved every job I had, especially this one. And there's a lot of bonuses. We pay you a lot of money up front to get there. We'll pay for your airfare, your travel. We'll work in lodging and your meals and all sorts of things. But again, we're gonna kind of talk today about how you get to the first step, but these are some of the reasons why you want to become a traveler.
That's great. And
also your licenses. We'll help you with your licenses and certifications, because one of the things that we found is there's a lot that really goes into it, right?
That's right.
It's not just that easy stuff. And best of all, you meet new friends, right?
I can't wait to hear more about this.
There you go. So, just kind of moving forward a little bit about what it takes to be a traveler. Boy, I love these little buttons that I get to push. What we're going to ask you to do, first of all, is when you become a traveler, you need a minimum of 2 years experience. That's normally what you need coming out of the box. When you come out of nursing school, you're kind of new to all the experiences, so traveling may not be right for you until you really get a little bit under your belt. Because here's what happens, Matt. You go into a facility. You're there for 13 weeks. We get a 1 or a 2 day orientation, and then from that point, you're kind of thrown right into the workforce with very little experience. So you really have to know how to adapt. You have to become like the chameleon of that floor or that specialty. Hence why I know you got some jobs there to talk about later. We go into the specialty fields, labor delivery, ICU, PICU, all the various specialties, and these nurses have to have the minimum of 2 years experience in order to really fit that niche and really, you know, I had 10 years, 12 years experience in the operating room. To this day, I can really go into any operating room and kind of adapt to whatever they're doing. I know the job. But when I first came out of school, I really did it by the book. So that's one of the first things that you have to become a traveler is the experience. So what do you think I hear most of the time? How do I get the experience?
How do I get the experience?
Absolutely. Geez, I could have had a little hand back there. How do I get the experience? He did that well.
I'm trainable.
He's trainable. I love that. So how do you get the experience? It's a great question. We have various different levels of hospitals that we work with. Some of the smaller hospitals, non-acute hospitals with 123 beds in them, we're able to get some of the less experienced, less than 2-year nurses in so you can get that travel experience. The ones that are really looking, the high paying, the excitement, the Duke, the Ohio Clinic, what is, those kind of, Ohio State, thank you, Penn State, all those kind of schools really are looking for people that have a lot of experience, but we can get it to you in the more rural, smaller hospitals. We also have some non-acute hospitals that'll help you at least get that flow going. So the first real thing that you need to do after you come out of your licensing, and again, just to stress, is we want you to go to our website, fill out your profile, and then let us do the rest for you. And for those of you who don't know our website, I'm going to try to get it correct today. So correct me if I don't, Matt, okay? Don't let me slip through this wrong again.
No problem.
It's www.strategic-healthcare.com. That hyphen's important. And when you go there, you'll see a couple of boxes, and the very last box will tell you that, click here and fill out your profile. From that point, what happens is one of our travel agents or our sales department will then reach out to those nurses. And Matt really heads up that field, so he's diligent in making sure that they're on top of it, that they ask you the right questions, that they get the right information, and that they really help you find a match. So that's really the key to getting this started. And then let us do the work for you. Let us help you find your job. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to put you into more than one job, because we don't just want to say, hey, here's, how many lottery tickets do you buy? Do you buy one?
No, I buy $20 worth every time.
There you go. His wife is now writing that down. She probably didn't know that. But, unlike me, I buy one, because I just don't want to spend the money, because it only takes one to win. But you're right. Most people
I want more chances to win.
Absolutely. So we want more chances to get these nurses jobs. And so what we normally do is we take your first choice, and then from the first choice, we'll put you in 2 or 3 various other positions of the same nature, maybe even in different locations. And from that, whatever one calls you for the opportunity, will guide you through that process. So go to our website, fill out the profile, or send us your resume. The second thing is our travel agents or salespeople will call you to help you create the perfect resume. There's some things that go into it. You have some tests, pre-tests that you have to take, skills tests we call them, so we can kind of gauge you to the size facility that you actually will be going to. From there, we then check your references. We look in our database, which I think we checked this morning. There was 1,300 jobs out there that we're trying to fill. So we have a big need for nurses. So not only do we have the jobs, we need nurses as well to go with those jobs.
So Dawn, let me ask you a question. I'm a traveling nurse now. I've got my 2 years experience. You've placed me in a job for 13 weeks. What if week 7 or 8 I realize that this facility or this area of the country really isn't a good fit for me? What happens after that?
That's a great question. Well, one thing that we don't do, Matt, after we get you the job is we don't just leave you hanging. As part of the role of our travel agents or salespeople is to really communicate with you on a daily basis. So that's a great question. And for all those nurses that are out there and traveling, if you're not talking to your representative or your salesperson every single day or at least once a week, we're not going to be able to help you in those situations. Because unfortunately, when you're there for the 13 weeks, you've made that commitment. But if it's clinical or if there's training challenges or something like that, we'll help you through that knothole to make sure that the experience that you're having is a good one.
Okay.
So that was, that's something that we work with. And we want to make sure up front that it's a good fit. So we want to know the things that you love, the places that you want to go. One of the things we encourage our folks to do is tell you what's around in the community, what places you can go for fun. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to parachute, as you said.
There you go, without a parachute usually. The second thing he loves to do is bowl. So maybe we want to know some bowling alleys that you could go to, or some fun things, or hiking, or whatever it may be that you want to do. Matching those interests. And then, again, it's important for those folks out there to know that we're available 24/7. You can call us anytime. So in a situation where you are challenged after about 7 weeks or so, you really want to call us and let us know what's going on. And you can feel free to do that. Because we also know that most of our nurses, their positions are 12-hour night shifts. So, we're waking up when they're going to bed, most of us, with the exception of me. But,
who doesn't sleep?
I sleep a little bit.
So if I heard you right, this is a relationship that's built between the nurse or myself and a recruiter on your end, and every week I should be reaching out to them, or they reach out to me to make sure that my job is going okay. Maybe I like it there, to see if maybe they can extend me for another contract, or maybe I want to see a different part of the country. Did I hear you right?
That's absolutely correct. And you mentioned two great things. At the end of that 13 weeks, if you've really loved the position, there's a good chance that we'll be able to get you an extension there, depending on the census and the workflow that they have available. Now, again, a second point that you made is, where do you want to go next? We encourage our recruiters to really talk to the nurse about where her next destination is, because we want to start looking for that the very next day. And I will tell all you guys out there, one of the people that do that for me, again, is Matt. So, when he talks to his staff and his travel agents, he always says to them, where does your nurse want to go next? Because we want to make sure that the hospital is available and we know the jobs that are out there as well. So it's kind of exciting all the way around. And then, again, the orientation of the facility is very important, because like I said, the travelers have their 2 years experience, but they may not have never gone to this hospital. So it's important that we work with them for their orientation, so they know what to expect when they get there, who to talk to when they get there, and most of all, what to wear. Sometimes they have a request for certain uniforms or scrubs, or maybe they can just wear their street clothes and their work boots. Who knows? It just, it just depends on the facility that's out there. So all those things are really important when we're looking at you for a traveling nurse. But like anything else, unless you reach out to us, you're not going to be able to even start the process. So it's really important that the first thing you do is either go to our website, fill out your profile, or you can email us, and we'll give you our email at the end of this presentation. Usually we have it back on the screen, but a little bit of challenges for us today. We're not pros. We're working through that, aren't we? We're working through that. Hey, actually, we're doing a lot better. Usually I talk at the sound of, what is it, light or something? I don't know, speed, whatever it is.
Speed of light.
Speed of light, there you go. I'm always a little behind the scale. But anyways, so those are a couple of things that we wanted to go through today and tell you about in getting started. Again, it's important to know that these contracts are 13 weeks, so they're not forever. We do have some 7-week contracts. We also have some per diem positions, which are as needed for the hospital census for the day. We have permanent positions that we're working on in the New York City area right now. And we have permanent positions in Texas and I think California and Florida that one of our recruiters are working on. So we've got a lot of things out there. But what I'm going to ask Matt to kind of share with us now is just really some of the opportunities that we have.
Well, Dawn, I'm glad you asked me about these opportunities. These are a few that just came across my desk this morning. We've got a labor and delivery nurse need in San Diego, Southern California, with 12-hour shifts, which is guaranteed 4 hours overtime every day that you work over an 8-hour shift in California, which is great for the traveling nurse. They'll make extra money on their salary. A bunch of California opportunities. Another San Diego opportunity for a pediatric nurse at a children's hospital. California again in Palmdale, an emergency room nurse needed for a night shift, which is a very attractive position. A lot of matches that we have for that. Pediatric nurse needed for the Houston area, which is also nice and warm this time of year. It's not 20 degrees, it's probably about 80 degrees. And if you want to go to the East Coast, we've got a 12-hour shift available in Charlotte, North Carolina for a rehab nurse. So these are just 5 of the nurse opportunities, job opportunities that came across my desk today. I urge you to reach out to me at mprice@strategicnurse.com. Fill out a profile on our website. I get literally about 200 of these new jobs posted every single day. So all fresh opportunities happen Monday through, actually Sunday through Saturday. We get new job postings every single day. So reach out to me, get me your profile on our website, shoot me your resume, and we'll find a job for you.
Absolutely. Our guys are all waiting for you to come. So we want to thank you for joining us today. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to become a traveling nurse. We're going to talk about credentialing and some of the steps after we get your profile. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Matt, thank you for your help. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.